Hello, happy Monday. I forgot to tell y'all something about my trip to the church on Saturday when I told that story yesterday. So we all know it's spring. Spring has sprung. Flowers are blooming, trees are blooming, and Tracy's sneezing, okay? And I I told my dad, I said, I'm sneezing, but I'm not sick. It's spring. It's pollen. And he's like, oh, okay. So I get in the car with him, and I let out one of them good sneezes that came from my soul. That man rolled the window down. He rolled the window down, and he rode with the window down for a few minutes. He said, we need to get rid of that. And then he rolled the window back up and kept going. And then on the way back home, I let out a sneeze and he rolled the window down again. I was like, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Anyway, I just washed my hair to prepare for work tomorrow because, like to have the fresh wash when I go to the office. And I'm kind of caught up with my work again. I don't know what to make of that. But anyway, I'm just sitting here doing... I don't want to say I'm doing nothing because I am checking on stuff, but yeah. And my hair's still wet, so don't judge me for that, okay? It's still wet. I tied it up in a t-shirt after I took it out of the towel. And, yeah, that's what we've got going on now. I took it out of the t-shirt. And I'm waiting on my brother to come back over because, you may remember on Christmas Day, he was pulled over and given a ticket for not having his proper decal on his license plate. What we call a tag down here in the South. He didn't have his sticker on it. So he had to get that done, and then he's got to send them proof that he got it done. And he came over here and gave me some paperwork, and I was too dumb to look through it. But then when I came in here and looked through it, I was like, well, this isn't what I need. This just shows you went and had your emissions checked. So anyway, waiting on him to come back over so I can get that scanned in and email it to the courts. And then he gave me the money to pay his ticket. So he has no technology, nothing. He doesn't even have a cell phone right now. So no computer, no cell phone. He's one of those that lives kind of off the grid-ish, if you will. I don't know how you do it, but good for you. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do, good for you. I doubt any of you who are watching me are living off the grid without a cell phone, because how else would you be watching me? But I'm thankful for people with cell phones who watch me so I can make my $1.98. Don't worry about where we've been, okay? Ain't that right? Don't worry about it. I just saw a car that reminded me of a story from long ago. I had a friend named Michelle. We worked together. And we worked 12-hour shifts at the jail. So we had to get up at like 4:30 in the morning to be there in our chair seated and ready for a roll call at 5:45 in the morning. And then we'd work a 12-hour shift, okay? Get off at 6 o'clock in the evening. We'd go pick up her twins, which were babies. Backward-facing babies. And then we would stop at Cracker Barrel and eat dinner. And then we would hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And we would go all the way to Dayton, Ohio. All the way to Dayton. That's kind of a long drive from Atlanta. But anyway, we would, I don't know what time we would get there. It was like a whirlwind. But I remember on this drive with these infants, in the back seat. We were in a Ford Probe. Do y'all know what a Ford Probe is? They're about this big, okay? They're 2 doors, not 4. And they've got the, of course, the front seat flips so you could get in the back. She finally got rid of that car and got a decent car for twins, because there was barely enough room in that back seat for 2 car seats, much less me. So we're traveling on up the road late at night. It's time for the babies to eat. I said, just keep going. So I get back there. I got a bottle in each hand. We're just rolling on down 75 all the way to Dayton. Me feeding a baby. I don't recommend this. It turned out okay for us, but I'd take a baby out, burp them, put them back in, strap them back in, take the other one out, burp them, strap them back in. We didn't want to stop, you know? We were 2 young women with twins in the middle of the night, so we were kind of afraid to stop. And so I just did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I would burp and go back to feeding, and burp and go back to feeding, and then I would crawl my little fluffy self back into the front seat so I could ride in comfort, because there was not a lot of space between, you know, them. Well, I guess they still are, but them car seats in the 80s were huge. Was it the 80s? I think it was the 80s. What is it? 90s? Probably early 90s. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They were big. And here I was trying to get in between them to feed 2 babies. But then we stopped in the middle of the night somewhere. We had to stop in Kentucky to get petrol, gasoline. And I said, that's okay, I can drive. You take a nap and I'll drive. And she said, oh, okay. I didn't know where I was going. So the poor thing could not sleep, because, you know, all we had were maps. We didn't have no cell phones with no GPS on them. And I couldn't be driving that stick shift Ford Probe with twins in the back looking at a map. I mean, hey, I was taking a lot of risk just to burp them, but I sure didn't want to drive looking at a map. So anyway, she didn't get any sleep. But I do remember driving through Cincinnati and thinking, I think it was Cincinnati. I'm pretty sure it was Cincinnati. Is that the first city-ish? Like big city? And it was kind of a first big city for me, you know, other than Atlanta. And I thought, well, gosh, this doesn't look any different than Atlanta. This isn't very exciting. But then we got to Dayton, and there was a whole lot of, Amish people. And I thought that was pretty exciting. Didn't you think it was pretty exciting? Yeah, it was pretty exciting to see the Amish rolling up and down the roads. And her sister lived more in a farm town setting, if you will. And I remember going into her house, and of course we immediately laid down and went to sleep for a few hours. And then I just remember being there and looking at her windows going, why doesn't she have screens on her windows? I didn't know at the time. Now, all houses may have them now. I'm just saying, in my experience, this house did not have screens. And I asked her, I said, why don't you have screens? And she said, because we're not in Georgia. What? She said, bugs. Y'all got a lot of bugs. We don't have a lot of bugs. And I was like, what? She said, no, the winter kills them out, and we don't have a lot of flying bugs coming in. And I was like, what? Okay. That's what she told me. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But she didn't have screens. I know that. And she had these cool windows that slid open like you were at some sort of restaurant or something. Because mine, you have to lift up. And I thought it was cool to have a window that slides. However, I have learned since then that those windows that slide get off track easily, and they get all janky. They get janky in their track. Anyway, that was my trip to Dayton. Y'all have all heard my second trip to Ohio was when I had to testify in court and I tripped in the courtroom. And then I busted out laughing, so yeah. Ohio has some good memories for me, okay? Alright, we're back home with my lunch, so we'll chat with you later, okay? Say bye, Penny. Excuse me. Excuse me, ma'am. You mad? Huh? Are you mad? Everything okay over there, Gracie? Trina has spent the day sending, well, I say spent the day, she sent me 4, but she sent me pictures of these, like, really hideous shoes on Amazon. Now, I'm going to be pushed those stilettos made out of denim that have the Levi snap on them. Stilettos. Tracy doesn't wear stilettos. No, not even when I was thin and, you know, full of piss and vinegar did I wear stilettos, because Tracy can't walk in stilettos, okay? But I'm more of a wedge. And I did like my platforms. Y'all remember them platform shoes in the 90s? Well, the early 2000s. Well, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Those platforms, I had some that were that thick on the back and that thick on the front, and they had a little black strap come across the top. I wore those shoes flipping every day to work with a cute little dress. And I just thought I was all that in a bag of chips. Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we love you. Jesus loves you. We hope he's coming back soon, because people are crazy. And I'll talk to you later, okay? Toodles.